Islamophobia is 100% acceptable in America. We've learned that because, man, is it easy to find people who are ready to attack Muslims, whether they live abroad or they're here. The one place where you can't apparently get away with it is a coffee bean and tea leaf in Riverside, California. And we know that because Kathleen Amnadidi was trying to get some pastry and some coffee. And she happened to be wearing a niqab, which is a full Islamic dress that only exposes the eyes. And
that's the one that Islamophobes think is scary.
That think it's scary. And one of them happened to be there, and he started a confrontation with her. Thankfully, she was recording it, and so we now know how it went.
Said, is this Halloween or something?
Why did you say that?
Why would I? Why wouldn't I?
Why would you say that?
Because I want to.
Why? What's wrong with me?
I don't know. Will you tell me what's wrong with you?
Do you know I'm a Muslim?
Yeah, I do.
What's your problem with that?
I don't like it. How's that?
Why?
I don't like that because I don't like your religion and it says to kill me and I don't want to be killed by you. How's that?
Are you scared of me?
No.
Have you read the Quran?
Absolutely. Yes, I've read enough of it to know. Yes, that's right. That's tough.
You've read the Quran?
That's tough. I've read.
Do you know in which context that is?
I've read enough of it to know.
Are you a Christian?
Absolutely.
If you're a Christian, let's talk about your Bible. Do you know that your Bible, in your Bible, in your Bible, Jesus says to bring the people who don't believe, to kill them.
I don't have any kind of a conversation with idiots.
You are committing hate speech. You are committing hate speech against me.
Racist. Shut up.
I'm a supervisor on duty.
Okay. Tanya Alfaro?
Tony Alfaro.
Why are you not serving him?
Because he is disrupting a public place and being very racist.
Thank you. Just so everyone sees. Thank you.
So we now have 3 new heroes of the week. First, we have Kathleen Amnadidi for recording that and standing up for herself. We have the cashier there who refused to serve him, and he did in fact leave. And then the third was the gentleman hurling expletives from across the coffee shop. I don't often hear conversations in Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf where all of it has to be bleeped out.
We're not sure what he said, but it was pretty good because it was bleeped out consistently. That guy sounded like if anyone who's ever played any of these like loud sports, like football, basketball, where a coach yells, he sounded like a football coach. That guy was sitting in the corner waiting. He's like, okay, one more sentence from this guy, and I have to start laying into him. When his voice is echoing across the whole, you didn't even see where he was sitting. You just heard him. No, this is the difference, as you said, because you're the hopeful one. In a previous story, we have to fight back at least, because how people are emboldened based off of what Trump is doing in office. This is one of those guys. He's read the Quran, enough of it.
Yeah,
that he's been quoted from Trump.
Can I ask the audience, how many pages of the Quran do you believe that gentleman has read? Do you believe that he has read uno page? I don't think that he has. Now, you don't necessarily have to have read it to criticize it, but you are lying.
To say that your religion is out to kill me and I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I think you might have missed that part.
Yeah.
We can say that about, as she said, your Bible.
Yeah.
Your Bible wants to kill certain people.
Yeah. Now, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf has put out a statement for after throwing him out, saying that they want to ensure the wellness and safety of customers, team members, and business. We have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to discrimination of any kind. So they are sticking up for the person who ejected that customer. Unfortunately, we are gonna have to take a break. When we come back though, I do wanna break down a couple elements of that interaction and why I have a particular problem with that individual after we come back from this break. Before the break, we were talking about a video from Riverside, California, where a man had an encounter with a Muslim woman wearing a niqab and decided to attack her, saying, "What is it, Halloween?" And so I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things from that video. One was that she says, "Do you know I'm a Muslim?" And he says, "Yes." And she says, "What's the problem with that?" And he says, "Well, I don't like it." And he did that with his face. And this is just general advice to people. If you have to make that face while giving across an opinion, you know that you're wrong. Well, I don't like it.
Because you look like a 7-year-old.
You look like a 7-year-old, and you make me feel like a 7-year-old having to point that out.
Totally. No, but it's a look. You see kids go,
Yeah,
that's the nanny poo-poo
You are an
face.
adult child, and you seem to understand it on some fundamental level. Then, so he attacks her. He says that he lies about reading the Quran and says that the Quran says for you to kill me. He doesn't actually understand what the Quran says. And then she responds with a bit from the Bible, which technically was not, she said it was Jesus saying, if these people won't be ruled by me, bring them to me and kill them. It's not, it's some king or whatever, but it is in the Bible, and there are other things like that.
That she hasn't read the Bible enough to know that passage correctly.
Yeah, and so he responds as she starts to say that by putting his hand out like that and saying, I don't have conversations with people. You started this entire thing by seeing a woman who wanted a scone, and you decided to say, what is it, Halloween in here? You started that conversation, and then suddenly you don't want to have it. And I know exactly why, because you saw yourself as this strong, big man who's gonna just attack these women. And you think they're so submissive and they're so oppressed that I can just hate them right to their face and nothing's gonna happen. No one in this coffee bean and tea leaf is gonna say anything. These women certainly aren't gonna say anything, and I get to feel big and strong. Except that they defended themselves, and suddenly he wanted to pull the ripcord. He didn't want any part of that anymore.
Yeah,
it is so cowardly.
So first you say, your religion wants to kill me. Then she said, are you afraid of me? Oh, no. So which one is it?
So what's the word?
You don't want to die. I assume that you're afraid of dying. So then, if you're not afraid of her, what did you have this conversation for in the first place? You don't like her religion that says, apparently says to kill you, but you're not afraid of her. Again, what are we here for again? It's when the logic hits this circle and you keep hitting this hitch in it and you have to go back in the same circle, something's wrong. You have to just go with,
Yeah, and look, honestly, I mean, what was the interaction in the end? It was, I don't like your religion because I think there's something in it that says you get to kill me. She responded with, well, your religion also says things about killing people, and she might have gotten it a little bit wrong, but there are things like that in the Bible and in the Torah and in every one of those books because they came from barbarous times. And they all have things that we have issues with. The issue is, do you feel like you should be judged based on the worst things that are in your religious texts? And if you don't believe so, and he doesn't appear to believe so, then why do you think it's okay to judge them based on that? And in the end, he's not really. He didn't think, Muslims, do I like Muslims? Let me read this.
Yeah.
My God, my word, look at this. No. He didn't like them, and so he's looking for reasons to rationalize his hatred for this group.
Based off of seeing some things in the news and being told again by pundits and politicians what you should believe because that pursues their careers, that progresses their careers, right? So, okay, if we're worried about that, there's people that look just like him that have terrorized. They are terrorists. They look just like him. I've seen those guys. So every time someone sees him, with, he doesn't have a baseball cap on that day, but he's wearing a baseball cap and a polo shirt. And there's a white guy, be like, you know what? Is it Halloween in here? You're looking like a terrorist to me right now. Can you get out of here, please?
Or if you see someone that's open carrying, what is this, Halloween? What are you, from Call of Duty? Why are you dressed up like that? Like they are wearing a costume based on this mythology of their need to defend themselves as Americans. Look, we could do all of that. Obviously, we don't actually want that. I personally believe that we live in a society that we should work to maintain. And part of that society, the social contract that we sign, is not getting in people's faces and being pissy about their religion when they aren't doing anything except possibly trying to drink a Frappuccino. You worry that this group of people is out of touch with modernity. She's at a coffee bean and tea leaf. What more do you want? She's interacting with American capitalism in the most unnecessary fashion, paying 10 times more than we should for a cup of coffee.
And she has a cell phone.
She's modernized. She has integrated.
She's using her cell phone.
And she has a cell phone.
Probably Verizon, way overpriced.
And she recorded it vertically, which I don't like, but I'm glad that she recorded it all.